Welcome back to Dinar Community Channel. I walked into Chase Bank with nothing but a folder of Iraqi dinar, expecting eye rolls or maybe a quick rejection. But what happened behind those glass doors flipped everything I thought I knew. Private meetings, internal memos, and a whisper that confirmed it all. It's real, and it's coming. This isn't speculation anymore. This is the moment every dinar holder has been waiting for, and you're about to find out why. It started as an ordinary morning. The sun had just crested the horizon, and I could already feel the heat crawling across the pavement. I had been holding onto my Iraqi dinar for years, patiently waiting, enduring the ups and downs of the currency speculation world, surrounded by rumors, leaks, and more credible sources than I could count. But something felt different about this day. Something in the air. Maybe it was the way the financial news had shifted tone recently. Or maybe it was the sudden quietness across certain channels known to pulse with inside chatter. Whatever it was, I knew it was time. I grabbed my small folder of Iraqi dinar notes and headed out. Chase Bank had always been one of the more mysterious players in the foreign currency conversation. While they rarely discussed exotic currencies like the IQD openly, they remained one of the most prominent names whispered among speculators. Some believed they were deeply involved in the back end of global financial restructuring. Others thought they simply kept quiet to avoid panic or confusion. I didn't know what to believe. But I was ready to find out. I walked through the glass doors of a large Chase branch in a major U.S. city. It was mid-morning and the lobby was quiet, just a few customers, the hum of conversations, and the faint tapping of keyboards. The smell of fresh paper and the cool whoosh of air conditioning filled the room. I clutched the folder of IQD in my hand tightly, not out of fear, but anticipation. I was walking into the unknown. Approaching the front desk, a woman greeted me with a friendly, almost too rehearsed smile. "Good morning. How can I help you today?" I hesitated only a moment. "I'm here to ask about foreign currency exchange. Specifically, the Iraqi dinar." Her smile didn't fade, but her eyes blinked just a beat longer than usual. "One moment," she said politely. "Let me get someone from the foreign exchange department." So far, so good. A few minutes later, a man in a dark suit came out from a door behind the teller line. He looked calm, professional, and very aware. He extended his hand. "Hi there, I'm Marcus. I handle international currency services here. You asked about the Iraqi dinar." I nodded and held up the folder. "Yes, I've held these notes for a long time, and I'd like to know if Chase is currently processing exchanges for IQD. He gestured for me to follow him into a more private consultation office. The room had a frosted glass wall, a wooden desk, and a couple of chairs. I sat down, watching his movements carefully. He closed the door and sat across from me. "Before we go further," he began, "can I ask where you obtained these notes?" I explained my story. Bought legally years ago. Authentic notes. Stored securely. I wasn't trying to flip or launder. I was simply a long-term holder watching the market like everyone else. Marcus nodded, then asked to see the bills. I handed him the folder, and he opened it carefully. He didn't flinch. He didn't laugh. He didn't say, "We don't deal with that." He just examined the notes professionally, flipping them over, checking the watermark and printing. Then he did something that truly shocked me. He stood up, walked to a small filing cabinet, unlocked it, and pulled out a slim binder. Inside was a list. He flipped through a few pages, paused, and ran his finger down a column. "As of this week," he said slowly, "Chase has moved the IQD from the no transaction list to what we're calling the pending valuation tier." My heart skipped. Pending valuation. What does that mean? It means Chase is preparing to support exchanges of the Iraqi dinar under specific terms. Right now, it's not publicly available at teller level, and there's no live rate on the board. But that doesn't mean there's no activity behind the scenes. He lowered his voice slightly. "There are internal bulletins. We're watching the currency very closely. This isn't a meme. This isn't fantasy. The dinar has been tagged for monitoring by major international desks. We're seeing coordination signals." This was more than I expected. I leaned in. "Are any private exchanges happening now?" I asked. "Any pilot programs?" He glanced at the door, then back at me. "Off record, some high net worth clients are being quietly contacted. Not everyone, not all branches. It's very selective." But those with substantial holdings and verification are being offered consultations with wealth management officers. There's a high security protocol involved. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. For years, people were dismissed, mocked, even banned from forums for talking like this. And here I was, in a Chase Bank office, hearing it firsthand. He returned the folder to me. I can't promise anything on the spot, but I can enter your information into our internal system for notification if a structured exchange program goes live. You'll need to verify your currency, provide legal ID, and complete a source of funds declaration. I nodded. Absolutely. He added, you should also be aware, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Scams, phishing attempts, fake exchange centers. If you get contacted by anyone claiming they can get you a special rate outside a regulated institution, walk away. I asked about rate projections. Was Chase seeing any numbers? Marcus didn't give a firm answer. We don't set the rates. That will be determined by international agreements, market factors, and central bank clearance. But internally, we're being advised to prepare for a tiered rate structure. Meaning, some clients may receive different offers based on their holdings, account history, and timing. He continued, there's also talk of redemption appointments. Think of it like booking time with a wealth manager to review large currency exchanges. It won't be a simple teller transaction. The implications were massive. I left that Chase Bank with more than just a folder of IQD. I left with confirmation, real, verbal confirmation, that something very real was happening behind the scenes. Quietly, deliberately, not overnight, not chaotic, but coordinated. The kind of preparation that institutions do when they know something is coming, but aren't allowed to publicly announce it just yet. And that was just the beginning. Later that evening, I reviewed everything I had learned. The confirmation of IQD being reclassified internally. The silent tracking. The private exchanges being rolled out. And above all, the formal system Chase was preparing for select clients. This wasn't some fringe operation anymore. This was Chase Bank, one of the top banking giants in the world, quietly prepping for a currency shift that had long been dismissed by mainstream outlets. And it wasn't just Chase. After my visit, I started hearing whispers from other IQD holders who had visited different banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, even HSBC in certain cities. The story was the same. Foreign exchange departments suddenly more curious, quiet rooms being used, notes being examined instead of rejected, and discreet referrals to private advisors. Something had flipped. Was this the moment we had all been waiting for? Of course, there were still no official headlines. No CNN or Bloomberg front page announcing the RV. No ticker tape parade. But those who were paying attention saw the change. The silence was no longer denial, it was coordination. And then came the next step. Within a week of my Chase visit, I received a call. A soft-spoken woman from the bank's financial services division asked if I would be interested in attending a private client orientation for upcoming international currency services. She never said the words, IQD. She didn't need to. It was happening. By the time I walked into that conference room, it was full of people just like me. Quiet, patient, prepared, and no longer in the dark. We were given information about setting up multi-currency accounts, how tax liabilities might be handled, and what to expect if certain foreign currencies were officially revalued and accepted into major trade networks again. Everything was professional, clear, no hype, just facts. And as I looked around that room, it finally hit me. The dinar journey wasn't just a story about currency. It was a story about patience. About seeing through the noise. About preparing before the world acknowledged the shift. I had walked into Chase Bank expecting a brush off, or at best, polite confusion. What I got instead was validation. Quiet, unspoken, but powerful, and I wasn't alone. So, if you're still holding onto your IQD, don't give up just yet. Because what happened inside that bank was only the beginning. Like and subscribe for more videos.